Okay, so just sharing with you one of my experiences related to the numbers. If I tell you about myself as well, I was also very afraid of the numbers at one point of time, but then I was a firm believer of the fact that your growth lies where your fear is. So if you have the fear of the numbers, I tell you, my friends, that's where your growth is. Specifically, after the introduction of the some of the new domains like analytics and everything, people are now inclined in towards data driven decisions. So you take any other domains. Now if you see that what are the major domains which are right now on demand, if you take marketing, and then in marketing as well, there is a marketing research, marketing analytics. These are the various fields which are being opening up. In finance as well, the analytics has been there since last many number of years. The fintech companies are doing it. The tremendous amount of data is being generated, and the people are doing a lot of research and lot of calculations on that data. You take the HR as well, the calculations related to the salaries, TDS calculations, maintaining the details of the employees, using some softwares for the application screening, and you know hiring the employees, and the performance based evaluation system, developing such kind of systems. Everywhere the analytical skills are going to be useful. So that's my humble request and submission to all the students, that do not run away from the numbers. I have specifically observed in some of the students that they are running away from the numbers. They are like, this is not something for which they are meant. Even if you are doing your business, if you are numerically sound, if you are knowing that how much money you are supposed to take from other people, how much money you are supposed to give to the people, if you remain in your calculations, and if you are fast in doing the calculations related to your profits, your revenues, your purchase costs, your selling costs, obviously you have the added advantage. I must tell to all the people that even if you start your own business or profession, or you are going to any of the domains of any of the profiles of job, you cannot run away from the numbers. That's the basic necessity. Mathematics is the language of universe. It speaks to us. It speaks to us in the language of mathematics. We should not run away from it. Our growth is there where our fear is. That is the statement I have heard, and that is the statement I'm believing since last many number of years. Just wanted to convey that to you, because now few numerical exercises will be there. And I know that some of the students might not be very much inclined towards the numbers, so they will give up. But that's my humble request, not to give up. Let's move ahead. So we were there last time into one question where Mrs. Melinda Gates wants to invest, wanted to invest 10 lakhs with 12% return expectations of 5 years, and compounding was done on a continuous basis. We have understood the meaning of continuous compounding, not going stretching further into it. We were supposed to find the future value, so we had derived one formula. That was, I'm taking you to that formula again, Fv equal to Pv multiplied by 1 plus R raised to n. Now that was for the periodic compounding, but now in this case we have the continuous compounding. The formula would be slightly different. Fv equal to Pv multiplied by e raised to Rt. And here is where we were supposed to find the log. If you have the scientific calculator, that's well and good. You can directly find the answer of e raised to Rt over there. But if you do not have it, we can take the log as well, and these logs are going to be useful to you in various other situations, circumstances too. In spite of the fact that in the real world we have the various softwares and applications and the tools nowadays, my friend, if we are numerically sound, that's beneficial to us in every situations. We should not run away from it. PV is the amount of investment which he is making right now. How much? So 10 lakhs. then interest is 12%, and the T is 5. So I'm just writing 10 lakhs over there as a PV. E value, we have got 2.718. That's the exponential factor function value. R stands for the rate of return expectations, which gonna be 12%. So I'm writing 0.12, and the T stands for the number of years, which is going to be 10, right? Let's just confirm it again. No, sorry, 5 is the years, not 10, 5. So, sir, we are mathematically stuck now. How should we do it? 10 lakhs multiplied by 2.718 raised to 0.6. Yes or no? Sir, when we cry, no, we go to the mother. Mummy, ye ho gaya, mummy, wo ho gaya, ye problem ho gaya. वैसे ही, when we are numerically stuck, we go to the mother of mathematics, which is the logarithms. So we will be assuming the value of this. We do not have the value of this. So I'm assuming let x equal to 2.718 raised to 0.6. Obviously, the value is not there. That's why it is x. Hota to x nahi hota. Okay. Now I'll be taking log on the both the sides. Log x equal to, there is a one rule of the logarithm. Please put it in the back of your mind, that whatever is there in a power will come into the multiplication when you take the log of it. So in a power we have 0.6. So I'm putting 0.6 over there, multiplied by the log of 2.718. Now we'll be finding the log value of 2.718 by using the logarithm table. I'll be just making those rules very, very simple for you. I know many of the people would have got stuck in the logarithms and z tables and everything in their graduation in the 12th, and they still do not have the fundamentals clear. But that's my assurance that you will be getting it very simply. ये कोई ऐसा ये rocket science नहीं है, बहुत easy है. Let's go in the log table. So I'm there into a log right now. I'm not into the anti-log. I'm there into a log. So sir, how will be finding the log? So whatever the values are given to you, you just take the first two digits, 27. Then you check the value in the table of 1 for 27. And whatever the fourth digit you have, now fourth digit will be of mean difference. So whatever the value you have got for these three digits, you will be adding the mean difference into it. So first, rules are very clear. Take the two digits, 27. Then go to the table of 1 in 27 value. Then add the mean difference of 8. Now it would have been 27.18. It would have been 271.8. Whatever the case it would be, that's perfectly fine. You take only the first two values, wherever the decimal is. You just got to ignore that decimal right now. Okay, let's move ahead. So I'm writing 0.6 multiplied by log ka value 27 in the table of 1. So I'm going over there in the 27. You may check my log value here. And it starts from the table of 0, right? So in 27, this is the value of 1. That's 4330. And sir, 4330, we are supposed to add the mean difference of the fourth digit. So fourth digit is 8. So the mean difference of 8 needs to be added. So mean difference of 8, it starts with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So 8 we have got 13. So what we'll do, my friend, we'll just add this 13 into value we have got of this 4330. So just add 13 into 4330, so you get 4343. Just write 4343 as it is right now. Now I'll tell you where to put the decimal and what are the rules to put the decimal. So I hope you are crystal clear about taking the logarithms now. First two values, go into the table of the third digit. So instead of 1, if there would have been 2, I would have gone to 2. This one was the value of 2, 4346. But in this case, we have 1, right? So I'm going into the table of 1, 4330, in the value of 27. And I'm adding the min difference of 8. Now, there is a column of min difference given to you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and all the digits, 9. So we are into 8. 8 means there is a value of 13. You add that value into 4330, so you get 4343. Now the next rule is that before point, my friend, what is the value you have got there? You have got 1 digit before point. I'm talking about the digit. Now, if there is a 1 digit before the point, you will reduce 1 from it. So from that's where your answer should start. So there is a 1 digit before a point. I'm using the digit. I'm not using the number. In number, it's 2. It's the digit 1. So if there is a 1 digit before point, you reduce 1 from 1. So your answer should start from the 0 digit. So 0 digit mane ke 0.4343. You can also verify that in the Excel. So I am using the word equal to, I'm taking the log to the base 10, and number is 0.2.718. So that comes at 0.434249. Then some of the people might be like, sir, what if there would have been 27.18? So check it out. Log 27.18 equal to how much? 1.4343. So this value remains the same, 4343. So what's been done is that if you have the 2 digits before the point, then you reduce 1 from the 2 digits. So whatever the number you have got, you will be placing that number before the point. So sir, if I would have got 2.718, then 0.4343. If this would have been 27.18, I would have checked the same way. 4343 I would have first placed. Then I would check that, sir, before the point, how many total digits are there? There are 2 digits before the point. So from 2, I will reduce 1. So there comes a 1. So my answer should start with 1.4343. If there would have been 271.8. So let's check that. What is the log of 271.8? Sir, that's 2.4343. So 4343 is remaining the same, but before point, how many digits are there? 3. So you reduce 1 from 3. So you get 2. So your answer should start with 2.4343. Is it clear now? Ekdam fundamentally clear ho gaya. Now you'll multiply that by 0.6. So what do we get? Can someone give me the answer, please? 0.6 multiplied by 0.4343. Please unmute yourself.
Okay. 12605.
2605. Thank you so much. 0.2605. Log x equal to 0.2605. Sir, log is there on the left hand side. It needs to be taken on a right hand side now. And those people who change their side become negative, right? That's applicable to the psychology and friendships and everything, you know. So log, if there is a right hand side log, if you take it over there on a right hand side, it becomes the anti-log. So x equal to anti-log of 0.2605. So do not forget that log, my friend. Log is there. If you will be forgetting that, then it would be singing a song, Bada Pachtaoge, your answers would be very wrong. So equal to, now we'll go into the log anti-logarithm table. So anti-logarithm will be searching only after the point, so whatever the value you have got after the point, for that only you will find the anti-logarithm. Okay, let's move and go over there in the anti-logs. So I'm now going to the anti-logs. At the downside in the same table, I have circulated this table to you in your WhatsApp. So sir, anti-log is started, and you may check that anti-log is anyway after the decimal points only, right? So that's why I told you that you should be checking the values only after the points. So sir, that's 0.2605. 2605. So what I'll do, I'll again go to the first two digits. I'll again get the value of 0 table, and then I'll again add the mean difference of 5. So in 26 I'll go 0.26. Then I want the 0. So that means this is the value of 0. I'm marking it. Let me change the color of it so the students gets it in a better way. Right. So this one is the value 1820, sir. Then what is the mean difference will be adding? Mean difference of 5 will be added. So sir, 5 mean difference starts from this is 1, this is 2, 3, 4 and 5. So that means the value of the mean difference of 5 is 2. So 2 will be added in this value, which is 1820. So sir, I reaches to 1822. 1822. Now there comes a question that where to put the decimal. So in a log, you had reduced 1, right? In an anti-log, you'll be adding 1. So before point, what is the number you have got? 0. In 0, you add 1. So your answer should start with the 1 digit. So it should be 1.822. Before point, there is 0. In 0, you add 1. In logarithm, we were reducing 1. In anti-logarithm, we are adding 1. So it's just about where to put the decimal. So before point, there is 0. You add 1 into it. So there comes a 1. So your answer should start with 1 digit. I'm using the word 1 digit. So there are 4 digit answer we have got. So I would put the point 1.822. So that's my value of x. So x has been found. ब्रेकअप हो गया था, फिर से हो गया. अच्छा, अब हम जाते हैं वहां पे जाके वैल्यूज को रख देते हैं. 10 lakhs multiplied by 1.822. So what is the value we are getting, sir? There 18 lakhs 22,000. Obviously these are the approximate values because logarithm is all about the approximation. You can do it only up to 4 digits, but that's perfectly fine. This would be considered as the right answer in your examination. You must be aware about it, because to understand some of the technical things in the future to come, if I give you derivatives, the valuation of the derivatives, valuation of the shares, sometimes you will be requiring the logs, options valuation. At that time, two logarithms would be required by using the Black and Scholes model. So let's have the base and fundamentals very clear. May I have the confirmation that you are there with me till now, every one of us? No one is having any doubt till now? We have got it?
Clear, sir.
Good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let's move ahead. Let's go to the annuity part. You may again take a snap of it now. I'll tell you what is the meaning of annuity. Okay. So my friend, you may take a snap for your reference. I'm starting with the question number 1. At the beginning of each month, rupees 5,000 is deposited in an account opened in a post office by Miss Mamta of Bengal that pays the interest of 12% compounded monthly. Find the balance in the account at the end of the 6 years. Also calculate the total interest earned from the investments. So Miss Mamta Bengali, she will be investing 5,000 rupees, 5,000 rupees, 5,000 rupees for how many number of periods? Let's just check it out. She is investing at the beginning of each month. So, and for how many number of years? 6 years. So 6 years multiplied by 12. So how many total number of investments will be making? 72. And in each and every month, she is going to invest how much? 5,000, again 5,000, again 5,000, again 5,000. She will do it for 72 times. And she is expecting 12 percentage per annum return expectations from the deposits. So what will be the money she will be having after the end of the 6th year? So we are supposed to find the future value. Now we are again stuck. Some people would be like, sir, ये तो एन्यूटी है, तो आप कैसे करेंगे? 72 टाइम्स थोड़ी ना हम कैलकुलेशंस करने वाले हैं. So when you get the annuity, what is the first meaning of annuity? Let's try to understand that. There are few rules needs to be followed to be called as an annuity. One is your amount of investment should remain same in all the periods. So it shouldn't be like 5,000 in a 1 month and 6,000 in a second month and 7,000 in a third month. No, then it's not an annuity. Your amount of payment should remain same. The installment should remain same. That is the rule number one. Rule number two, the time period between the two transactions should also remain same. One is the amount that should be same. Time period should also remain same. You cannot say that, sir, right now I'm investing 5,000. फिर मेरे पास पैसा नहीं है, कुछ देने के लिए है नहीं, so now I'll be investing after 3 months. Then you would be like, oh my God, I have got too much of money now, so I'm straight away investing again in 1 month. Then again taking the gap of 4 to 5 months to invest. The gap between the successive payments should always be the same. And the rate of expectations during this entire annuity period should also remain same, that is 12%. You cannot say like, sir, for the first 5 months I have 12% expectations, then for the next 10 months I have 13% expectations. Such kind of questions are there in the practical world. Absolutely, why not? We'll be solving those kind of things as well. But my friend, that cannot be called as an annuity. That is what I'm trying to make. So these are the 3 rules to be regarded as an annuity. Now, generally, there are 2 types of an annuity. One is ordinary. Another one is annuity due. Fundamentals remain same. There is no difference between the two. The only difference is that in ordinary annuity, you make the payment at the end of period. And in annuity due, you make the payment at the beginning of period, my friend. So period can be monthly, period can be quarterly, period can be yearly, period can be daily, whatever the period is there. Now what I'm trying to say is, let's say if you are investing at the beginning of the period, then my friend, you get the interest for that period as well, right? So let me just take the example. Say from the May month, you are starting the investments. A very simple kind of example. So you are investing at the 1st May. You also get the interest up to 31st May, right? But if you are investing at the 31st May only, then for the month of May, you do not get the interest. Because anyway, पूरा मंथ तो चला गया, तो मैं तुम्हें क्या सेवा करने के लिए बैठे हैं तुम्हारी लोग उधर कि तुम्हें मंथ चले जाने के बाद भी तुम्हें वहां पे इंटरेस्ट दे? कोई देगा? टाटा बाय बाय सी यू, बाबा जी का ठुल्लू मिलेगा, कोई भी इंटरेस्ट नहीं मिलेगा बेटा. If you are investing at the end of the period, for that period you will not get the interest. Obviously for the subsequent periods you are anyway going to get the interests. So that's where the formula of this two would be slightly different. So I'm taking you to that formula. I have, by the God's grace, when I was teaching to the last batch of yours of MBA MU Financial Management, I had written it in a board and मैंने वहां पे फोटो ले लिया था तो वो फोटो मुझे आज भी काम आ रहा है. Good. So the formula of the beginning of the period would be this one and the end of the period is this one. So I guess many of the students might not be able to get it. I'm just writing it over here for your reference. For ordinary, it's gonna be I. So FV equal to I stands for the installment amount. You know, you can also call it a PMT. 1 plus R raised to N minus 1 divided by R. So that's the ordinary annuity formula. Then annuity due formula is slightly different. So whatever is there, no, the annuity ordinary, you will put the same formula. We'll make some modifications into it. So FV equal to I. Let's put the same formula. 1 plus R raised to N minus 1 divided by R. Just for your, better memory, I'm just telling you what change you will make is here in N you would add plus 1 and here once this entire small bracket is over you would put minus 1. So ये है ना वो हमारे चाचा जी है. कौन है? चाचा जी. वो चाचा जी नहीं होते, मैरिज में आते हैं तो रूट के एकदम साइड में कोने में बैठ जाते हैं, मेरे को कोई भाव नहीं दे रहा है, फोमोजोन में तुरंत चले जाते हैं, वो वाले चाचा जी वो है ये -1. So the same formula you are putting at n you will be putting +1 and after this bracket gets over you would be putting -1. As simple as that. So there is a slight correction in that formula. So when I was writing that formula, I was in a hurry, so at that time I had made a little mistake. There would be n plus 1. Okay, let's move ahead. This is the formulas we have got for the annuity due as well as the annuity ordinary. This is the formula for the future value. So once we are clear with that, we'll move ahead. Now, whether this annuity is the due or the ordinary, can someone tell me by reading the first statement itself in the question number 1? ये ड्यू है कि ऑर्डिनरी है, कौन बताएगा?
Due.
Very true, because we are investing at the beginning of the each month. Some people might get the question, sir, बीच में अगर इन्वेस्ट किया होता तो क्या होता? बताता. Okay, so let's first put the formula of annuity due. We have got that formula. FV equal to I in bracket 1 plus R raised to N plus 1 minus 1 divided by R, and here we have got the चाचा जी. चाचा जी को भूलना नहीं है, otherwise बड़ा पछताओगे, बड़ा पछताओगे. I stands for the amount of installment, which is the payment, gradual payment you're making for 72 periods in this case. Miss Mamta Bengal. I have rightly put Miss. But I don't know why these people are singles, And all the politicians who are successful are singles. And after reaching to the top, some are getting divorced. So anyway, the destiny is this only. Then why the people are putting this much of pressure of marriage on the people? Anyway, let's move ahead. 12% compounded monthly. One thing you'll have to take care that once you put I, that is 5,000. R and number of periods needs to be adjusted based on the compounding frequency. So 1 plus R. R for the entire year is 12%. So 12 needs to be divided by 12 because compounding frequency is monthly. She is going to invest 5,000 on a monthly basis. So rate needs to be converted into per month. So per month rate would be 1%. So I'm writing 0.01. Now N stands for the number of years generally, but that needs to be multiplied by the compounding frequency, right? So 6 multiplied by 12. So n would be 72, and plus 1 is anyway going to be there, minus 1 to be divided by r 0.01, and here we have got the चाचा जी को भूलना नहीं है, अदरवाइज हमें मालूम है कि वो कौन सा गीत गाते हैं, इक्वल टू 5000 1.01 raised to 73 minus 1 to be divided by 0.01 plus 1. Now again some people will like, sir, oh sir, how can we find this raised to 73? So my friend, I have already explained you to break it into various parts, right? If it is decimal at the power 0.75 or 0.85 or 1.25, then you will be mathematically stuck, because that cannot be found. So for that you take the logarithm. But if it is absolute numbers in nature, 73, you can make the parts of it. No. So let me again take the x of it. इसको अलग कर देते हैं, तो ऑब्वियसली अलग हुआ, इसीलिए तो x हुआ 1.01 रेज टू 73. मैथमेटिक्स की पूरी जिंदगी x को फाइंड करने में चली जाती है. उनको पूछो जिंदगी भर क्या किया आपने, तो बोला हमने x फाइंड किया. Okay, so 1.01 raised to 10 multiplied by 1.01 raised to 10 multiplied by 1.01 raised to 10. 3 times are done. 1.01 raised to 10. Now whatever is there in a power, no, that gets added if you multiply the base. That is a very simple mathematical rule. So 1.01 raised to 10, 1.01 raised to 10. So 6 times has already happened. One more time, 1.01 raised to 10. So 70 times happened. Only 3 times is to be done now. 1.01 raised to 3. So you will be finding it only for the one time. And whatever the answer you will get, you will multiply that answer for further this many times. And then 1.01 raised to 3 would be pending. You can also take the log of this. Huh? If you want to take the log of this, then also it's perfectly fine, my friend. You are allowed to, you can, why not? But let's find it by this way first, and then we'll go to the log. So may I have the answer, please, by doing it in your calculator? I had told you last time how you are supposed to do it. 1.101 multiplied by 1.01, press equal to. So 2 times has happened. Rest 8 more times you will be pressing equal to, so you will get some value. And that value will be the value of this first one. Okay, so what we have got, Miss Yashvi. Miss Yashvi is saying that 2.0675. Mr. Rishiraj, you are getting some incorrect answer, 0.315. You're making some mistake there, Mr. Rishiraj. You may again check it further. Mr. Uttam, 2.0675. Okay, so majority of the people are getting this. Let me verify that by using the Excel. 1.01 multiplied by 73. So 2.06757. Okay. 5,000. 2.06757. Little bit of an approximation will be there, but we are not supposed to worry much about it, because we faculty members are matured enough to ignore that approximation. Plus 1 equal to 5,000. 1.06757 to be divided by 0.01 plus 1. Not plus 1, sir. Plus 1 we had done over here, so it would be minus 1. No? Here it's minus 1. Plus 1 we had done over there, so it's gonna be minus 1. I'm sorry, I'm really sorry. एक जगह पे प्लस करना है तो एक जगह पे माइनस करना है. ओके, n+1 किया था, यहाँ पे करना है माइनस. So equal to 5,000. Then you will first solve this as per the Bodmas theorem, 1.06757 to be divided by 0.01. So what do we get there? May I have the answer, please? Or we have got 106.757 minus 1 equal to 5,000. 105.757. So sir, if you multiply that, we get 5,28,785. Okay, यहाँ पे -1 है, देखो ओरिजिनल फॉर्मूले में -1 ही लिखा, फिर सॉल्व करने के समय पे सर खड़े खड़े सो रहे थे. Some people like, sir, you're making a mistake, but I'm also a human being. We can. Anyway, let's move ahead. We are allowed to make the mistakes. Is it done? May I have the confirmation from the students, please, that you are there with me till now? Mr. Neeraj got the right answer?
Yes, sir.
Good, good. Let's move ahead. Next question. To save for child's education, Virushka decides to invest 1.8 lakhs at the beginning of each 3 months period, paying the interest of 8% compounded quarterly. Find the amount of investment after 15 years. So again, which annuity is this? At the beginning of each 3-month period. So sir, again it's annuity due. So FV equal to I in bracket 1 plus R raised to N plus 1 minus 1 divided by R, और यहाँ पे हमने +1 किया था तो इधर भी क्या करेंगे, -1 करेंगे. Some people will be like, इसके पीछे का क्या लॉजिक? बेटा, we have derived this formula after doing some differentiation and some integrals, not going into the derivation of the formula right now. Okay, I is how much you'll be paying now. This will be solved by you. 1.8 lakhs they are keeping together, so 1.8 lakhs, 1,80,000. 1 plus R to be converted into quarterly R. 8% is for the entire year. In a year you have 4 quarters, so you divide this 8 by 4, so you get 2%. So you put it 0.02. 2% can be written like 0.02 raised to N plus 1. Sir, N would be how much? 15. And they are going to invest in each quarter. That means in each 3 months. So how many number of 3 months you have in a 1 year? 4. There are 4 quarters in a year, right? So 15 multiplied by 4, so you have got the N of 60. So I'm writing 60 over there. And plus 1 is a part of the formula itself, so not doing anything with that. -1 to be divided by 0.02 minus 1. चाचा जी को भूल जाना नहीं है. Now that's something I'll be keeping up to you. You will give me the answer, all of you. Let's see that how many of you have done it. So the only problem you'll be facing here is to find 1.02 raised to 61. 1.02 raised to 61. One way you take a log of it. Another way you go to, breaking the powers by taking the different bases. So 1.02 raised to 20, 1.02 raised to 20, 1.02 raised to 20, and 1.02 raised to 1. So we have got 61. So you'll be finding it only for the 20 times in your calculator. And whatever the value you'll be getting, you'll just replace it over here. May I have the answer of this compounding factor, please? 3.3466. Good, Miss Sanjuri. Good, Miss Urja. 3.43466. So you replace it over there in a formula. I'm not going into this very basic algebraic equations. I have a faith on you guys that you will be able to solve it. Let's do it and let me know what is the final answer we get. 3.3466. Logarithm will be there in many of the questions. Do not get worried. It will be crystal clear to you. Practice makes a man perfect. Some people will be like, women ko nahi karte. Beta, I don't know why this patriarchy is all about. Many of this kahavats and everything are made from men. You know, I mean, many of the people are using the man. They would have used the person. Practice makes a person perfect. Okay, let's move ahead. What is the answer of this one you have got? Let's just check it out. So -1 would be done first, and then it would be divided by 0.02 as per the board mass. And then whatever the value you get, ultimately -1 would be done. So 180, 2.3466 divided by 0.02 minus 1. So 180 2.3466 divided by 0.02. So sir, we have got 117.33 minus 1. चाचा जी को भूल जाना नहीं है. Equal to 1,80,000 multiplied by 116.33. So that would be the amount that will be left to this couple Viruska. 180 multiplied by 116.33. Excel is quite advanced when it comes to future and present value calculations. There are FVs and PVs, and there are so many data tables and functions and so many other things. You can do it with a lot of ease over there. But anyway, how much it is? 20. Okay, so it's 2 crores 9,39,400. Do not make any mistakes in digits, please. For the international students, we have the Indian way of pronouncing it, 2 crores 9,39,400. We are not very habituated with the terminology of billions and millions. But this many digits will be there. You may just cross verify that again. Is it clear? Okay, everyone will have got the same answer. Fine. So one question I'm keeping for your practice. I know people will get stuck over there, but I want you to get stuck. And then I'll solve it in the next session. So I want you to apply a bit of your intellect there. Question number 3. And let's see how many of you can solve this further. And those people who can solve it will be deserving the chocolate from myself whenever we'll be meeting personally. I'll remember the name of that fellow person. Please take a snap of it. Question number 3, you will be doing it, and then in the next period, we will begin with that. Any question, any queries till now? All of you? Some people have already started putting the enrollment number. Okay, बहुत जल्दी हो गई भैया, बहुत जल्दी. Okay, please put your enrollment number. Bye bye, take care, sayonara. Enjoy the rest of the day. See you all in the next session. Take care.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
Sir, I have a doubt.
Yes, please.
Sir, here we are instructed the interest is in quarterly basis, no? Compound interest is quarterly basis, but you took 0.02%.
True. See, 8% is a per annum interest.
Yeah, no,
So
sir.
in a
Paying interest of 8% compound quarterly. That's like we are instructed.
no. 8% is the per annum rate compounded quarterly. It's not written like it's a 8% per quarter rate. It's not a 8% per quarter. And that's not realistic as well. No, if you take 8% per quarter, that means somewhere around 32% of interest you get for the entire year. Do you feel that it's a practicable? Now, even though it's not practicable, I mean, uh, the question might not be specifying it very clearly, but the rate of return should always be taken per annum if nothing is been mentioned. So if it is per quarter, then it should be given to you per quarter specifically. Otherwise, you'll be taking it per annum only everywhere. Is it clear?
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, yeah. What's your attendance? Ilan Vincent?
Yes, sir.
Okay, how do you pronounce your name? Can you just tell it? Oh, he's gone. Fine.